Welcome, Corridor Digital. It's Ithaca here. It's for Sam and Nico. I know I look really silly right now, don't I? Anyway, it's going to be a little video. We're doing a test run of the suit, and we're also going to do an example of things we were going to send with it, paints we use, how to put the suit on. So let's start from scratch. Obviously, you have, don't worry about that. Obviously, you're going to put on the undergarments, which are pretty much just the spandex lycra type material. There is a second undersuit, but we're not using it anymore. There's really no need to. We took a lot of the padding off to fit the parts better, so we're probably not going to worry about that right now. Balaclava, self-explanatory. Put the balaclava on, tuck in the balaclava neckline underneath the shirt. Then you put on this this neck seal is what it is. Put on the neck seal. The suspension system for the suspenders or suspension system for the thighs looks a little bit more complicated than it really is. You're gonna put it on like you got it like this, and you're just gonna slip your foot into the right thigh and put bring it around you. Slip your left foot into the left thigh. From there, you will put the shoulders on. And you just have to duck down a little bit to do it. They're also adjustable depending on how tall the person is. And before you stand up, make sure you pull the thighs up and you turn the thighs into position of where they need to be. Alright, then you stand up, and for me the suspenders work, take the buckle in the front. That's the suspension system for the thighs. I leave this neck seal on the outside of these suspenders. If you like, you can actually spray paint these black, or if you have a black set, you can put a black set on. These are on there for now. So anyway, that's the suspension system for the thighs. Now we'll get into the lower half. The lower half is probably the most important part, where you need two people for it. We also need two people for your biceps, and also probably for your buckles. So you need two people really to gear up. I ran behind the camera. My wife's outside on the phone, so bear with us on this because we have to juggle the camera a little bit. Okay, next we're going to get into the shins. Now the thighs themselves, you can see how they face, flat point to the front, okay, with a little crease right here, and on the back side is like cut for your knees. Alright, if for some reason the person doesn't have as much of a bend in the knees and they need more because they're shorter than I am, you can take a Dremel and round these out some more, and that will not be an issue. Okay, these are super glued on. If for some reason these were to come off, super glue them back on, or it's got two holes here, one here and one here. You can Dremel through and put a Chicago screw through to hold them on. Instead of the super glue, kind of like what we did here on the biceps. We put a Chicago screw through each one, and that's what holds these up onto the bicep. Alright, so you can do the same thing if you had an issue with these. Okay, let's get into the shins. The shins are universal as far as left and right goes, so it doesn't really matter. You can grab up here, and it becomes a little bit of a balancing act too, because your lower half is stiff. So you'll slip on the shins, pretty simple. Have a vehicle next to you, or if you're gearing up inside a couch or something next to you. Don't mind the mess I got going on here, we were working. But next we're going to go into is the boots. This is really a two-part thing, two-person thing I should say, because what I got to do is I want to slip my foot into the boot, and then I have to put my shoe down. Flip-flops work. I've seen it done with flip-flops. Slip-on sneakers. Anything like that actually works. And all I'm doing is I'm balancing myself. Look up top here. I'm balancing myself, and I'm slipping my foot into my shoe underneath the. Now here's what. Okay, Randall, pass me the camera. And I'm going to angle downward. Now your secondary person can come in, and they will. See, my heel's not in. They can help you adjust and put your shoe on. They can actually reach under there pretty good. Randall's actually pretty good at this. He's helped me gear up a few times
Okay.
Okay, so now I push down, and my foot is now in my shoe. Now I could pull up on the shin, he can lift up on the front, and he could actually tie. I point my foot down as much, he can tie in my shoe. Let's get a side shot of that. Here we go. I've also seen one of those little slip rings that people put on their shoelaces. Have you seen those before?
No.
They're like the ones on our pockets.
No, I understand this.
The drawstring.
Drawstring.
It makes a drawstring on your shoe. So he puts the shoe back down, and that's it. That side's done. Same concept with this one. I'll slip my foot in to the boot, lift up. Oops, sorry.
Lift up.
Lifting up.
Okay. Now just push.
Communication is the key for this because wiggle it around a little bit.
It's in there.
There we go. It's in. Communication is key for the two of you. All right, that's good, Randall, because I'm not going to keep it on that long.
Okay.
So there's how you tie them. Lower half is complete. It's pretty simple. Boots, I'm sorry, my add. The boots are also universal, meaning they can be on either foot. All right, so shins and boots are universal on any foot. Camera back to Randall. Swing over this way. Or this way. Oh. All right, so next we're going to get into is the torso, okay? I'm going to grab the torso, and we're going to go over a few things here. It's kind of heavy now that we have everything mounted to it. Okay, you're going to have multiple light kits. There is a light kit under this shoulder. Okay, let's see if I can... Watch out, dogs. Okay, so we got a light kit underneath here. Switch is right there. It goes to on. And you have the same thing over on this side. Another light switch over here. Let's see if I can find the on and off. There's the on. You have one underneath here with the on switch right there. They're all Velcroed in, by the way. Okay, so that is on. And one more in the neckline. Right here in the neckline. So I'm going to find this on and off switch. Right here in the front. It's on. And that controls a little bit of light here to light up your helmet in the back side, and also back here around the hoses. Okay, so now that I got that done, that's pretty simple. I can actually lift this whole thing myself, and I can slip it on. Getting into it's really simple. What was that? Okay, anyway. All my lights are still on, right? Good.
Yes.
All right, so Randall, here, I'll take the camera. I don't know if I'm angling it right.
Okay, yeah.
Right there. Randall is now buckling. What was that? Buckle came off?
Yes.
So that's what fell?
No.
Oh. These buckles are adjustable, depending on a person's girth.
It's usually easier than that. I just suck at that.
Okay, so then goes to the other side. Okay, now I am now buckled in, and now you can see what we have going on so far. All right, I have the balaclava on, and pretty much my whole upper half. Now I'm going to put on the biceps, which are behind you. This is important because we're still going to add a strap to these. We talk about Velcro, but we're probably going to add a strap to it instead because I'm not wearing the other Under Armour. So that's the problem, Randall. I'm going to pause the video, and I have to add a nut to this. The nut came off off of here. So what we'll probably do is we're probably going to add some super glue to these nuts right here. See them right here by my thumb?
Yeah.
So they don't come back off, or Loctite or something. So let's pause. We're gonna fix this real fast. I knew something fell. I heard something hit the armor.
I did hear.
And we'll get back to you. Okay, we're back. Sorry about the small thing, the issue here. This nut had popped off, so his shoulder actually popped off. Like I said, we're gonna add some super glue or Loctite to these nuts so they stay on, and you know that issue again. But always be sure before you put your armor on every time, or after you take the armor off, to inspect all your Chicago screws and all your nuts and bolts to make sure they're all still nice and tight, because after wearing and moving around a lot, they tend to come loose sometimes. All right, so now we've got my wife behind the camera. Randall's gonna put the biceps on. Biceps are really simple. They just slip up into place, and that's it.
Point out how they go.
Okay. Let me take it up real quick. When you look at them, they do have a seam line. The seam line goes in the center or into the inner portion of your body, and it's got a groove coming downward. That groove is downward. So other than that, that's pretty self-explanatory. We're gonna add straps to these, I guess, and have it fastened to the top of the armor. So worst case scenario, 1 second, Jones. Lift up the shoulder here towards the camera. You might have to reach up underneath there, and there should be a strap point to the bicep area. There should be a strap going from the bicep up to underneath the shoulder, and there will be a buckle in there, and you just buckle it together. Okay, so that's what we're planning on doing. All right, I probably won't update that in a video, but just so you're tracking. The gauntlets. Gauntlets are pretty simple. One person, they slip right on. They're very light, very flexible, not an issue. Okay. I'm going to take the Cortana chip out ahead of time. Depends on how you want to do this for your filming purposes. I'm just going to put it in now. But for your filming purposes, obviously you can have your guy putting it in. So you can see I can reach it myself. This gauntlet here, same thing. The battery pack for this is on the inside of the gauntlet. So this gauntlet will be a little bit tighter than the other gauntlet, just due to the 9-volt battery being inside and all the hot glue inside there, holding the wires in place so they don't break or get pulled out of the circuit board and stuff. So keep that in mind when you're putting the gauntlets on. Okay, pretty simple right there. And even if the gauntlet is loose, like this one right here has got a lot of play into it, I did that because of the differences in human bodies. I don't know how big the guy you have is going to be. But to fix that, all you have to do, I'm going to ship these gloves with. I know Sam and I have already talked. He's got some of the tactical gloves that I had ordered for this kit, but mine will not be in time. So Sam said they got like 24 pair of these things, or of those gloves, so they'll be okay. But the gloves, when they slip up underneath the bottom of the gauntlets, these are tight on me. The belt's going to go around, but it's going to go backwards. And this is why you need a second person now to gear you up. The belt's going to go backwards. So you have the leather across the front. And I'm going to turn around. Just turn around so they can see this, what you're doing. He's going under the back piece and not over the back piece. And then he's going to tighten the belt that way. And the buckle should be underneath the back piece. You can tighten it a lot tighter than that. I don't know how tight you're doing this yet. Okay, so you see how it fills it in. So it gives a little bit more, I don't know, little meat and potatoes to it. So that's now the look you'll have. You no longer have to worry about that ugly buckle. How's the back look? I can't see, so I'm going to turn a little bit.
I like the blue glow behind your helmet.
Huh?
Can you hit the light, Jones?
Okay, so there we go. Hold on before you hit the light. Before you do, I'm going to turn and let everybody see the kit. Okay, lights.
Stop. Turn back over. There you go. Stop there.
Can I turn now?
Yeah, fine.
Okay. So,
Hold on, leave it off for a second.
all right. Now in a minute here, I'm gonna downgrade, and then I'm gonna go over some of the materials that we use and some things I'll be sending to you, and how to do some minor touch-ups if you need to.
Pull the Cortana chip.
Do what?
Pull the chip.
bullet chip.
Okay, now turn it just a little bit like this. Move your head. Just your head. Cool.
Why?
I just want to do the blue lights in the back without the
Blue light
Cortana chip.
special. Okay, so we'll be right back. Okay, now I'm gonna go over a list of things that you should have on hand. Let's start off with for the gauntlet is a 9-volt battery. I do not have any spares right now, so unfortunately there's only one 9-volt battery for this system for the gauntlet. But luckily it only takes one 9-volt battery, so you buy a pack of 3 and you'll be good for a long time. Alright, we got some C batteries in these battery packs here. And there's one per shoulder. And I also think there's 1, 2, 3. So you need let's see, that each of them hold, I believe each of them hold 3 batteries. So you need about 9 C batteries to have on hand. I have a pack of 4 here, which I'm going to include in with this. And let's see, for the other stuff here, for the battery pack for the servo, takes 4 AA's, plus the lights for the up in here, they also take AA's as well, 4 I think. So I put 8 AA batteries in here, which will at least hold you over until you get some more. All these are new batteries to begin with, but I have extras as well for you. And last but not least, we have the AAA batteries, which go in the Cortana chip, which holds 3 or 4. And in this pack here, I have 6 more, so I think it only held 2. No, I don't know, but anyway, some more AAA's right here for you, and the AA's here. Other things to have on hand, okay, is, and we're going to include this as well, we're going to include a strip of this industrial style Velcro to utilize for anything like the battery packs are mounted in with Velcro. So if anything fails with that, you can use the Velcro for that or anything else. And I'm sure you have all this stuff on hand. I talked to Sam already, but I'm just trying to help out a little bit along the line for small repairs and adjustments. We're going to include this paint with it. This is the paint that we use for the gray or the silver. It's a Folk Art metallic silver sterling. I'm going to put a bottle of that in there along with the brush. And it's at Walmart too. And then a brush to put it on. It's the same brush we used. Other paint we use is for all the black is the Krylon dual paint and primer. It's perfect. It's flat black. It's really nice looking. And you don't have to worry about priming and then painting. So this is also sold at Walmart. Very easy to find. This here is for fastening purposes here. Gorilla Glue. I have enough of this stuff floating around, so I'm going to put a bottle of the Gorilla Glue in. Be advised, foam does leave off a resin or a vapor when you try to fasten it together. Okay, so be careful not to smell directly when you super glue any of this stuff here. The acetone inside it is what bonds the foam together. Very good bonding agent. And then of course you need your hot glue gun. The reason I use both is because hot glue gun is not really that great in hot weather, but super glue has a tendency of hardening the foam and can rip. So yeah, as you can see, all of my seam lines, everything was glued first with super glue to bond it, and then a layer of hot glue over top just to reinforce it. If you have rips and tears, both of those work fine for repairs. Let's see, we covered painting. All right, the bolts. This bolt's here, and this one over here, and on the opposite side, we're putting some super glue on to keep the bolts in place. We had one issue already where one came undone. Always check your Chicago screws. We use washers with the Chicago screws, as you can see on the back side here. Always when there's material involved, because the Chicago screw will pull right through the material. So you have to use washers. We use 1/4-inch Chicago screws, and some areas we use 1/2-inch to up to 1-inch Chicago screws, depending on how thick the foam is or the material is that we are using. So always make sure your Chicago screws are always tight before you don the gear. just to make sure that nothing's going to fall apart or come undone. I suggest going to Home Depot. You can buy the washers at Home Depot for like 11 or 12 cents a piece, maybe even 10 cents a piece. $52. And Chicago screws can be ordered on eBay, and you get them rather fast. Going into the helmet's pretty darn simple. Visor's held in with hot glue, so you shouldn't have an issue with that. The only padding I have, it is a rather small helmet, I have padding here on both sides of the ears. If this is not enough, we are going to enclose the padding. Where's that at? We have some foam that we're going to include. Puppy on the couch crying. We're going to include some more foam if you need to put more foam inside with hot glue. It works fine. If it's too much, you can pull these out. It's pretty stiff padding. You can pull these out and you can put this foam inside. It's a whole pad of polyfill true foam from Walmart, and it can be cut up and put in, hot glued in as much as you need to adjust the helmet to your size. The belt, self-explanatory. You have to make new holes for the belt buckle. You can make new holes to make it tighter if you need to. The lower half, anything that's plastic, okay, anything that's plastic or resin slash like urethane resin or anything like that. Self-explanatory. If it were to crack, you can repair it with fiberglass and resin on the inside. Works best. Super glue can work to a certain extent, depending on how bad the damage is. And if you need to, a little bit of Bondo and then repaint it if something bad were to happen. These pieces on the outside are glued on. I covered this in the video. They're glued on. But if need be, you can drill a hole right here with a Dremel and put 2 Chicago screws in to hold it in place. You don't have to worry about it ever coming off, because right now it's super glued on, and you never know it's super glued. Other than that, I'm trying to think of other stuff you might need. I keep canned air on hand for very fast repairs, because if you're super gluing and need to cool it real fast, you turn upside down, but you'll be in the cold anyway, so I don't think you have to worry about that. I use to cool my super glue down my hot glue down real fast. There's a different type of battery. It's in the back of this. It's easy to look at. Randall, Brittany, am I forgetting anything else, or anything else?
No.
Undersuit. If the undersuit doesn't work, you can buy any type of undersuit. You can buy a black jumpsuit for underneath this. I'm putting in the spandex style or neoprene style. Drink a lot of water. You will sweat even in the cold. Heat gun. If you have any piece that needs to be reformed, because when we ship it, it's going to be a tight fit. So if anything needs to be reformed, you can use a heat gun to reform the foam. You warm it up with the heating gun, and you can use your hands with some gloves on and shape like this is shaped with the heat gun. The cod section is shaped with the heat gun over my knee. All this stuff can be heated and shaped.
Nope.
So you might need a heat gun on hand to do any shaping of any of the foam.
Did you cover the $30,000 disclaimer? If they break the suit, they owe us $30,000.
You owe us $10 billion. No. So no, but anyway, seriously though, for the suspenders, too easy to adjust, and I'm already dropping a piece. Suspenders can be painted if you want to paint them, and then their adjustment is here. Well, Sam and Nico, I hope you guys enjoy this armor. I really do enjoy it. And yeah, so that's about it. And this is Ithaca from SoaringHammer.com and a bunch of other forums. Check me out on YouTube. Make sure you check out Corridor Digital, all one word, on YouTube. Check them out on Facebook. They have a lot of stuff coming out for EA, and they have a lot of good videos. So remember, if we can do it, so can you.